About 7 years ago, I sort of had the point of view, the normal point of view that everyone has, that there's nothing out there, that we just sort of exist for this lifetime and then we're worm food. But something sort of come across to me that sort of changed me, and I started feeling like there was something that was missing in my life. That's when my journey began. I started searching and I started looking into all different sorts of things, being New Age movement. So I did a lot of research, looked into things about spirituality and things like that, and the more I dove into it, the less satisfied I was. It looked good on paper, but in practice it actually felt quite the opposite. It didn't really give me that fulfillment. I felt like there was still something missing, like a hole in me. So a few years ago, I ran into a mate who was a born-again Christian, and we had a bit of a discussion, and we were talking about Christianity versus spirituality, and that sort of got into a bit of a long conversation that went for a fair few hours, where I came out thinking that, you know, I was on top, and sort of didn't think anything about it for probably 2 years. So I applied for the Masons and had an interview and got in with them. I had a friend that told me about the Masons, and they said that would probably be perfect for me because, you know, if you're trying to learn more about yourself, then the Masons is a place to be. There was just nothing there. It just didn't feel like, I felt like I was wasting my time with it. Like I was going to a place and with all these great guys, with really nice guys, but it just felt like I was still lost. A series of events happened where I sort of stumbled across more and more stuff to do with Christ and with God. And the more and more I looked into it, the more I realised that that what was being said was truthful, and it felt like it was the most truthful thing that I've ever heard. And then that sort of triggered me to go back and remember that I spoke to this mate a couple of years ago about this issue, and when I sort of thought back and about all of his comments and about the things he said, it all made sense to me all of a sudden. The next step for me was to call up another friend who pointed me in the way of Flooding Creek Church, and so I went there and thought I'd give it a go. Sat down for one of the sermons and walked away absolutely amazed, and realising that that was where I needed to be. I felt like something had completed me. So after going to Flooding Creek, I sat down and did a lot of studying, and the more I read, the more it sort of just fell into place and made sense. Yeah, it really is a life changer. You look at the world in a different perspective. It feels like it's just a part of my life now. It is part of me. And I never used to have that feeling, it just wasn't there. When Holly, my wife, came over to Christianity from being Catholic, it's been an amazing thing for me to be able to share that with her now. It's made a big difference to everything, family life, everything has just completely changed. Having two people on the same page. It was a big decision to make, and probably the best decision I've ever made in my life.